French people are, I think that French people are really nice. I love French people. And I think that one misconception is that French people are really rude and they're very standoffish and they won't ever talk to you, especially if you're American. And I don't know, I don't agree with that. I think that they are standoffish, but I think it's just a different culture that, I don't know, it's like if they don't know somebody, then they're not going to talk to them because they don't know them. So they have a little bit of a wall, but once you push through that wall, they're really loving and you can stay friends with them for forever because it's just that they commit to being your friend, and once they commit, they're really committed. And so I think that they are one of the most loving people I've ever met. I think it depends on where you are, obviously, but like where I was in Pau, there are a lot of French people, but mixed with some Spanish and Bordeaux, but with Spanish, like Northern Africans, and let's see, yeah, Northern Africans and Spanish people, mainly in that southwestern region of France. And when I was on the east side in Nice and Grenoble, there were some Swiss, not really, but there were a good amount of Italians in Nice, and good amount of Italians and Arabs, and yeah, as in French. Like, I can't really think of that many other people, groups of people that were living there. I met an Egyptian man in Nice. Tunisia, there are people from Tunisia there also. I don't know, the thing about the French is that they don't focus on their work and making a lot of money. They focus on making enough money to like spend time with their friends and family. And I don't know, I think that's something that I really respect, that they don't focus on their job, they focus on their family and the people that they care about. And so that's one of the reasons why I think that, and didn't come up very often in conversation, their job and how often they're working and how much money they're making, because that's not something that they care about. Generally, French people believe in themselves. They're Catholic, but they don't. There's a good amount of them that aren't really Catholic. They're baptized into the Catholic Church, but they don't practice it at all. And when you start talking to them, you end up like finding out that they don't really believe in anything. And yeah, it's kind of sad. And I think that that religion played such an important role in their country, that it was something that partially destroyed their country. And so in my mind, it's kind of like, well, can you blame them for not liking religion? Because it was a huge part of like lots of death and just bad things that happened in their country. So, you know, obviously religion is important. Obviously we're missionaries, we're going to teach you about it. But like, I'm not going to point a finger at you and tell you that you're completely wrong for like trying to keep religion out of your life. But, you know, that's why you start teaching them about the gospel, because that's something that can enrich their life. It can bless them to more than they could ever imagine. You know, most of the time, people from Northern Africa are Muslim, and they believe in Allah, and they believe in God. And I think that's one thing that as missionaries we're really focused on. If you contacted somebody and they're Muslim, it's like, oh, well, I believe in God too, you know, and it's a little bit different, but you know, you don't want to ruffle feathers with them. You're not there to fight. You're there for them to help them feel God's love. And so one of the big things that we would do is just to point out that we both we both love God, and we both like recognize that He's there, and to thank them for their how important they think, what's the word, for like the way that they treat families. They really care about families. That's one of the most important things to them. And so you normally can't teach Muslims who are from Northern Africa unless you get permission from the mission president. And so one thing that, to end a contact with somebody who's Muslim, instead of just being like, oh, you're Muslim, okay, bye. Like, that can be really, really awkward. And you don't want to do that either, so you don't want to make them feel stupid. And so, I don't know, we would end it kind of sometimes just being like, oh, well, like, thank you for your, like, for your love for your family and for like loving God so much. Like, that's something that means a lot.